Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Love's Passion Chat. I am Love's Passion. I am your resident clinical sexologist specializing in women's arousal issues. Tonight is Love's Passion Chat. We stream here every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. On We stream live on Twitch and we simulcast on Facebook and YouTube. So if you're listening from YouTube or Facebook, please remember to like and subscribe in order to be notified when we go on next. If you're new to Twitch and you're just now joining in, don't forget to click that button down, click over there, click that heart, and be reminded of when our show comes on. As well as you're liking the show, don't forget to subscribe and share. Share now because tonight's conversation is going to be one of those ones that are going to be really, really hot and you're going to want to rewatch. And if you want to rewatch a show, just go to YouTube to Love's Passion underscore coach, and you'll find all of our shows that we've recorded over the duration of our time on air. And you can rewatch any show that you want free of charge. Not charging anything, promise. Okay, so now if you're on Facebook, don't forget to like and follow. That's Love's Passion on Facebook. That's Love's Passion Coach on underscore coach on YouTube and on on Twitch. You make sure you go ahead and click that heart button. Make sure you share this broadcast, please. As well as we appreciate your comments and commentary during the show. Please feel free to tune in, chime in if you disagree, if you agree. Please feel free to chime in any chance you want, as we do appreciate your comments and appreciate your interaction with us. And we love interacting with our chatters. Okay, so tonight's show is consent. What does consent look like, and does it what does it look like on an everyday basis, and what is true consent? We're going to touch on a lot of topics involving consent from pretty much every angle. So we're going to go over what consent is. But before we get into our show, we're going to bring up our guest, our co-host, and we're going to first start off with the woman herself. She's an author. She's a magnificent poet. She's an amazing grandmother, and to top it off, she's beautiful to be. Miss PB and J herself, Peanut Butter. Hey,
Hi.
people.
Hey, and you know how to make a person blush. Thank you
It's
very
all
much.
what I'm just telling the truth. I'm just
Oh
telling the
my
truth.
God.
It's all true. It's all true.
Oh
You
my
look
God.
amazing. You look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very
Tell
much.
people what you've been up to this week.
I just been diving head first in the book. My bed looks like a library. It looks like a library, but I'm determined to get this book out. The Chronicles of Butter. I think
Chronicles of Butter.
Chronicles of Butter. Yeah.
Not
So
peanut butter.
butter,
Butter.
butter. So it's really true life events, and it's based here in Dallas, Texas. So I think people will really be cool to start reading and be like thinking about those places. Be like, hey, I drove by there yesterday. That type of situation. So yeah, it's
So don't be some steamy pieces because we know you.
it's all about my sex life, really, how it
There is
started, the good and the bad. So we're gonna see how this goes.
well, I look forward to
Down
being your
memory
first
lane.
I look forward to being your first customer. Now we're gonna go ahead and bring up our next co-host, the amazing and the beautiful Miss Deb. You know her, you know her. She has her heart on her sleeve and on her heart. You just pull it and just touch it and poke it and don't poke it, but just play with it a little bit. She's a magnificent manager of an amazing event center here in, well, it's in Arlington, Texas, and it is has two spots, a large one and a small one, but both are the same
Beautiful.
magnificent space.
Beautiful.
It's amazing space.
Amazing.
You know, reach out to her if you're having an event. But you know her, she's back. But she is also an entrepreneur and a great mother, Miss Mim. Hey,
Y'all got me back here giggling. Hey, everybody.
look, you know I'm keeping this. I'm keeping this.
Looking at the nails. There they go.
Look, I be trying to get like you. I be trying to get like you. 'Cause I love them nails. I just can't because they always break because I be doing too much.
Apparently, me too. I'm having bad luck these days. So I broke this one. And so I had to run and I was in a hurry. So I was like, just hook me up real quick. So it don't match this one no more. But you know, I'm
Look,
still here. I'm still here.
look,
How y'all doing?
with them hands.
Hey.
Y'all doing? I missed you last week.
Oh,
I know.
we missed you too.
That's my first time missing a show.
I know, but that's okay because life happens, and that's what we're here for. To stand in the gap when you can't be there. We still here. We still here, still rocking it out and waiting on you to come back and bring that energy.
I missed y'all. Missed y'all.
So tell us what's been going on. What's been up with you? Oh Lord, look the face change. Y'all, I know y'all saw this.
Well, you know, I'm busy. I've just been busy. But I want to tell y'all, I did a party for this lady, Miss Shirley. It was her 83rd birthday. But when I tell y'all, Miss Shirley is like 53, it was amazing to be in her space. She walked in that place dancing. She danced with her family. She was a whole lot of fun. But I worked with some beautiful ladies that I just met, and it was just an amazing connection. We transformed our studio 1010. It was so beautiful. I have to show y'all some video, but just meeting some really great people. Actually watched someone who's really great at what she does, openly willing to share her gift. It's very nice to see. So I'm got a crazy weekend, but you know, same, just busy. Samoan wedding on Friday. 400 people.
Not
That's gonna be
s'mores.
beautiful.
I know. I'm so excited to witness.
I'm excited for you. Take pictures.
Wow. Yeah, pictures, video. We need the whole shebang.
Yeah. So, you know.
I might have to creep up there and hide in the back.
Okay. So that's coming up. So other than that, I'm good. How y'all doing? Y'all good?
Oh, great.
Good.
All right. So we're going to bring up our next co-host. You know him. You love him. He is the Regent's uncle of the show.
Yes.
He's a network professional, and nobody knows it better than Ask Kirk. Hey,
Kirk.
How y'all doing?
Oh, he's all professional. Wait a minute. Okay.
This
Well, y'all look cute. All three of y'all look cute.
Oh,
You look pretty good and stuff now.
I'm just here. I slid in like third naughty slide in the home plate last second. I was on a call until a few minutes ago, so I'm very blessed to be here.
Appreciate your
I know. I tried to call you.
I saw that, but I was on the call then. But I appreciate you because, you know, trying to remind me. They say it takes a
Well,
village.
we keep missing each other.
Yep. I'm terrible.
We here today. That's all that matters. We is here today.
Butter, look at that hair.
Man, it's getting on my nerves. Y'all don't have no clue how much hair. Y'all see this?
Micro.
That's a lot of. Yeah,
I like it.
this called quick growth.
Quick growth.
Every black woman should microbraid her hair from time to time. I think it's
healthy. It's healthy.
But it break. Man, black women are so beautiful. It's just like bring your face out. Let's see these faces. What's up? I don't want to see no more honey blonde. I want to see my sisters. Come on with it.
There we
Okay,
go.
Kirk. Okay, because you making me blush. Hold on. What is wrong with you people? Hold on.
That's
We
a
just
simple
we
love.
just trying to
Simple love.
we trying to tell the truth. Okay,
There we go.
we supposed to uplift each other with words of truth.
Right.
And ain't nothing more true than the beauty of a black person.
No,
Oh,
that's right.
exactly.
Let's eat.
So, Mr. Kirk, what have you been up to this week?
Stacking one thing on top of another, adding them all up.
What he said.
Work hard,
That's
play
it.
hard.
Simple. Man, am I the only one that just feels super blessed? Because
Oh no.
this don't even feel
I'm
fair.
blessed.
It don't even feel fair.
You know, I
It
feel a
don't.
little
I be
super
feeling, I'm
blessed
like, did I do
myself.
something?
Mhm.
You walking in your purpose. That's what you do.
That's
Start
what it
walking
is.
in your purpose.
I'm glad to
Walk
be
in
here.
your purpose thing. Fall in love.
What can I do for y'all? That's what I want to know. What can I do?
Hey. And
Yeah,
my cash app is Chasing 44.
What?
She put that cash app out there quick. Since you asked me.
Did you ask?
I got a nail appointment on Monday. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Oh shoot. Okay.
That's all you
Y'all
need.
don't get fed. You never know. If anybody else want to shoot them little stuff, I'll take it.
Put that cash app out there again.
Put that cash up
Okay.
out there. You never know.
You never know. That's
You never
true.
know.
Well, show up in your cash app. Just be blessings on top of blessings.
One after another. Tell me.
All
Well, I
right.
just had an interesting experience.
Hold that thought now.
Oh, somebody
You
still?
not done?
My bad, we ain't
You
done.
know we is a three piece. We
bad,
gotta get
my
our whole
bad.
puzzle.
I didn't. I didn't.
Oh, I thought I was
know
gonna
the
get
role.
three. I thought I was gonna get split 3 ways.
Oh my goodness. I gotta share, unfortunately.
Hey.
But share. So,
Okay.
no,
Ain't no fun if the homies can.
There you go.
Uh-oh.
I gotta play with you. Stay Kirk. We're not playing with you, Uncle
I
Kirk.
can't stand y'all.
Kirk, it's Uncle Kirk.
When I met you last night, baby.
Behave. See, that ain't even me
Okay,
today. You see what I'm talking about?
It's early. It's early. Get my brothers on. Come on, bring them on.
Okay, let's bring him up. You know him. You've seen him everywhere. You heard him everywhere. He is the actor. He's the singer. With the
Uh-oh.
women
Dun,
candy.
dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Himself. Give us some
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, give us some smiles.
Camara,
Ah!
chill.
Up with my damn self. Did you like that? Did you like that? That introduction.
Because I can't fuck with my
Damn self.
Yeah, like that right there, man.
It's
You
the
welcome,
man right
you
here.
welcome, you welcome.
It's real.
All right. Oh, now tell us what you've been up to.
Oh shit, I just been working, man. Just working. I've been in the studio. I got a couple of songs finished. We started back shooting on the movie on Friday. So we about to finish up this film. I'm about to drop some new music. I'm about to drop some new videos. I mean, I'm just saying, it's super lovely right about now. You know what I'm talking about? Extra good.
Right.
Look at that smile, y'all. Y'all see that smile? Look at it.
That smile.
Yeah.
Extra cheesy tonight, baby. You know what I'm talking about?
You got that? I just got my
camera.
cell
Put it
phone
in the
bill
camera.
paid. I got my
Man,
cable paid.
I'm talking about, hey man, then that income tax check came, man. You know what I'm talking about? Hey man.
Oh yeah,
hey,
you
man.
happy? You big happy?
Hey man, you know,
Ooh, I still need
401k.
a file. I better get that done.
Yeah, man, 401k.
Hey,
Not right
Fifty.
now.
April
Look,
15th.
not right now. Later.
Yeah.
Not right now.
Oh, okay. Thanks for reminding me.
On your to-do list.
So what's cracking, everybody? Y'all talk to
You
me.
tell
I've
us.
been MIA. I've been MIA on a Wednesday day. So I was helping a friend of mine so I was incapacitated.
Incapacitated.
Mm.
That's what we call
Yeah,
it
yeah,
now.
Yeah, I bet you
incapacitated. I
was.
was
I bet you
incapacitated.
was.
You know what I'm talking about? I'm just saying,
At least you wasn't entangled.
no, I ain't in no entanglement. You know what I'm talking about? I wasn't in no entanglement. No, no, no.
Oh,
I can't.
like,
I can't do the.
We
I
are
can't do the
not gonna
entanglement.
start. We're not gonna
not
start.
tonight,
Yeah,
Kurt.
Kurt. Not
yeah.
tonight.
I
No
ain't say
entanglements,
nothing.
man.
All
No
right, so
entanglements.
guys, we are missing a piece of our puzzle, and it's his birthday. And if he looking, if he listening, this is all for you. All right.
Happy
Yay!
birthday!
Happy
Yeah, happy birthday,
Happy
man.
birthday
Old
to
ass.
Hot
You
Bear
did.
himself.
Todd is currently landing in the DF Dub,
Oh,
and he said that if he might be able to join us toward the end of the show.
awesome. We had to play his happy birthday turn up again.
Yeah.
So,
I might get up and do a little twerk for him.
We might
Yeah.
not always but, you know,
Got
Kurt,
that.
y'all don't twerk now. I don't know how to take that if y'all start twerking. Can't do that.
Coming.
Oh, no.
Coming. Ah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
Y'all ready for me to start?
My bad.
Doodle Brown.
My bad.
I can't twerk. I can't twerk. I ain't finna embarrass myself like that.
All of y'all. It's bad.
You really said
Third vote. But anywho, so tonight's show, we're gonna be good. We're gonna move on from the Cappy Coming. Tonight's show is about consent. What it looks like and how to make sure that you're providing the right consent as adults, as children. When we're younger, I don't know if you've ever been forced to give an old person a hug or a kiss. So whether they're your auntie, your uncle, just old lady on the street, if you've ever been forced as a child to give them a hug or give granny a kiss, and as children we don't understand the concept of consent, but as parents, I don't think that we learned the concept of consent for a child. Because I know when I was coming up, it was you're seen and not heard, and you're to do as you're told. But in that, it kind of raises an issue of consent. How you're allowing that child to make their own decisions on consent basis. I don't want to kiss that person. I don't want to hug that person. I don't want to go and stay with my uncle, my auntie, my brother, what have you. I don't want to do that. But we as parents are not seeing the concept of that child needing to give consent to what is being made no longer a choice for them. So, in looking at consent today, we're going to look at all aspects of it, from the parent standpoint, from the child standpoint, to that adult that grows up to that child, and how we learn and how we come to terms with giving consent on pretty much every level of our life. What's in our control, what's out of our control. Have you all ever, do you remember a time when you were made to do something as a child that you didn't want to do?
it
I
didn't
got a
exist when I was a
situation.
child. We had no consent. There's no such thing.
Right.
We were a child. When you were a child, you walk like a child, spoke like a child, act like a child. You knew your place.
Right. And
That's new.
well, yes, it is new, but if you look at it in a whole conceptual way, what are you really telling that child? You know, I create the pattern of your life, or I tell you who to give your body to, and who can do whatever they want to you. Because there's this thing in the military. Like my son went to the military, and the military was scared of everybody except for mama. Mama had a whole nother strict set of rules and guidelines. They didn't really step over mama. It wasn't wife, it wasn't husband, it was mama. If mama say, you know, this, even in the military, it was another concept of consent, you know, that had to be given. Not if the person didn't want to. You know, mama called and she wanted to talk to her son, they would jump through hoops to make sure she could talk to her son, that kind of thing. Or daughter. But in that, I really had to struggle with, because I remember me as a child not wanting to do certain things and being forced to do them. Not because something bad was going to happen, but just because I didn't want to. Because I felt I was my own person, and as such, felt that I should be able to make those decisions for myself. Now, mind you, I'm 5. You know, and maybe as adults, that's something that they didn't see. There was something wrong with that. But as impressionable children, what lessons are you teaching your child in that concept?
Do what I say.
Right.
Well,
What I say as
we were
parents, regardless to what it is. I
yeah,
mean,
but we were guides. We used to be a guide for our child.
Mhm.
Now my kids are grown,
right.
so I hope I did everything right at this point. You know, the best I did the best. I don't know if it was all right, but I thought it was. But we were the guides. We were the, and I feel great now because my son tells me, and my daughter say, well, you know, when I question something, they say, well, you know, my son said, you taught me everything I know. He said, I'm you, basically. So you don't really have to worry about what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do what you taught me.
And in
I
that
believe
sense, though, Kurt, do you do everything right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So you see anything wrong with that concept? You taught me everything I know,
Nope.
and I'm gonna do everything.
No, because what I taught him. Now it's up for debate on if I did something wrong. We know right from wrong, but nothing that I can't think of anything offhand. Maybe he can. If he's listening, he's gonna have to call and tell me if I taught him something wrong.
Right.
But no, I was very conscious about what I did in their sight.
Did you ever force your child to do anything that, not force? I'm not even gonna say force, because we do as we've been taught. And I
would
know,
only ask. I never ask you to do something that I won't do.
okay, I understand that. But there's a lot of things that you would do that you don't want your child to do. I mean, we're not perfect individuals, but we do ask of our children things that we won't even do as a child, because we're adults.
You know what? I'm sitting here and I'm listening to everything everyone is saying. And first of all, with each child that you have, it's different. They have different attitudes, different personalities. So you have to know how to treat each child, how to come at them where they would understand. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Then when it comes to consent, this is how I handle it, because you have to remember the crap that I've been through, and it was not with my consent, right? So what I would tell my kids, if I ask you to do something, as younger children, like from 0 to 8, 8-ish, 10-ish, I'm gonna give it 10. I didn't give you an option for consent. Now, when you got 10 years old, where I feel like you knew the difference between right and wrong, you're at that age of knowing you're not supposed to do that, or if I do this, you know, mama be proud of me, you know, that type of situation. I let them make that choice. I didn't force them. I let them make that choice. And even today, in this time, all of them are grown. If I ask them to do something, if they don't want to do it, they don't have to do it. I told them that. But they still do it because I think they do it out of respect and love for their mother. Now, I told my kids when it comes to consent for anything, including me, if it makes you uncomfortable, don't do it. If it makes you feel some type of way, somebody's asking you to do something, it makes you feel funny, weird, give you butterflies in your stomach, or you just feel like eerie, don't do it. Because it's your choice. Now, they done made some fucked up ass choices. But everybody has made fucked up choices in their life, but they have to either learn from it or have to keep going through it till they learn from it. You know what I'm saying? Because each, out of my 5 kids, if I was to write a manual on how to take care of kids, it's gonna be different all the way through it because each one of them was different. And even us as grown people, we're all different. In our way of thinking, our way of being. Vaughn don't eat meat, but I would tear a rack of ribs the fuck up. But that's his choice. You know what I'm saying? That's his choice. That's my choice.
Yeah.
So I had to teach and that's what some parents don't do. They don't teach them that you have a choice. I'm not saying do it my way while No, I explained to them, as long as you're in my house, you're gonna follow my rules. This is my house. And when you get your own shit, you can do what the fuck you want to do. But as long as you're here, you're gonna follow these rules, these guidelines. And if you feel like you can't do it and you've grown up, go ahead, hit that damn door. That's a part of them learning consent and choices. Consent is not just about yes or no, it's about a choice. Do I really want to do this? Do I not? Go ahead, Kurt. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, I'm gonna throw it in. You kind of said it already, but I think you know it. If anybody knows me, they know my creed. And I taught this to my kids. And if my kids was online, they'd be texting me. I always say, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. But if it don't make sense, I ain't gonna fucking do it. Okay? And my kids know what I mean by that. If it don't make sense, I think that's beyond consent. It's like right or wrong. When it don't make sense to you, it don't have to be right or wrong to me. If it don't make sense to you, don't do it. And you can live with it. Can you live with something don't make sense to you and you don't do it? Can you live with the results? You didn't do it because it didn't make sense to you. So you got to live with what your decision was.
Yeah.
It comes down. You got options and then you got decisions. You can't make a decision without an option first.
Right.
So if you got 2 options, yes or no, you got to choose one of them. Can you live with what you chose?
What you chose.
If it makes sense, you can.
Well, okay,
but if it don't make sense, you're gonna regret it.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. You're a young child, and you said if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And I'm gonna break this down into.
No, forget that part. That's DJ.
No. Listen.
That don't matter.
Listen. Not that part. I'm saying I'm gonna break because these are some of the things that we were taught as children. Those things that we reverberate and these things have manifested themselves in ourselves because you build your life based on if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So if it don't make sense to me, it doesn't make money. But even in that sense, when you say if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. But selling drugs makes dollars, so it may make sense. Selling your body for money makes dollars, and it may make sense to someone else. And I'm saying this to say that with that anagram from our past, these are the things that our parents give to us. Those little one-offs. It's just like, if it's to be done, it's up to me to do it. That type of thing starts to manifest itself in us as children, which kind of removes that portion of consent, where the logic of consent is skewed because of what's been implanted as children. Now, I will go back to what I was saying as far as you go to your granny house and your mom say, give your granny a kiss, versus to would you like to give your granny a kiss? Or baby, could you give your granny a kiss? And given the option to choose, to make a choice based on how you feel and how that child is, analyzing that situation. If they're afraid, you're teaching them, no matter what, if you're afraid of whatever, you go with that person. and you give that person a kiss and give that person a hug because I told you to. Not based on the logic that you, as the child or that has grown up to be an adult, has been able to come to that conclusion, that conclusion for yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, because you end up basically doing, you might create a pattern of doing things that you don't necessarily want to do. So, like, in a sense, maybe people pleasing.
Right.
And that's exactly what it is. I mean, but then being that way, you, because I was one of them, you give a child a complex. So I've always been a people pleaser. I've always been the one. They said, "Well, you graduated high school." I did that for my mom. I say I did it for my mom because my mom had my diploma for like 15 years before I actually got it in my hand. You know what I'm saying? So when I graduated, I gave the cap, the gown, everything to my mom because I felt like I did it for her, not for me. Because I've always been a people pleaser, and it took me a while to come out of that. You know, I felt like if I wasn't seeing a smile on your face, I wasn't doing something right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So that fell over into relationships. It fell over into when it came time for me to be with a man. Okay, I got to make sure I do this. I got to make sure that no matter how tired I was, no matter if I was sick, no matter if I just been up all night with the baby, it didn't matter. I made sure that I did what was necessary to make him happy and forgot all about me. That's why I
Right.
gave my children, I set up choices, hey, if you don't want to do it, that's cool, but you need to do something, or when it came to, and I listened to what Rita said. Now, one thing I did not do is I did not push my kids on people. If my kid cried, screamed, yelled, turned around, walked the other way, then I would allow that child to do that. I don't care if you grandmama,
Okay,
daddy,
but they know.
it didn't matter. Because the kids see what we can't see,
Right.
right?
Children and pets and animals are the best sensors of
Mhm.
goodness, badness, of energies. They are the closest sensors to pure that you're gonna get. Somebody comes over and your animal is been the calmest animal, and then all of a sudden they lie scared for fear for their life. You better watch that person.
Yeah, my dog ain't never lied.
Never, none of
Will
them,
not. Your children,
not a nary.
right? It's the same concept. You get someone who's coming over your house and they're reaching for your child, and your child is like, "Oh hell no, mama! Oh hell no!" You don't like go on over there and get your uncle, grandpa type of rule.
Like,
No. I mean, as adults, I think we should follow the just generic reactions of a child versus a child and an animal. Just follow those because
I
that
agree.
won't steer you wrong. I ain't seen it steer me wrong, not one near time. They been pretty spot on, and it's amazing because we come into this world not talking, not walking, not without function. But as you grow into maturity, it's what shapes you, is what takes away what you were born with naturally. The things that your parents, put in you, take away those natural instincts that you were born with.
That
And
intuition.
right, you're taught
Mhm.
to believe. You're taught to hate. You're taught to see color. You're taught, these are not things that people are born with. No.
That's the sad part.
Yes. And if we start following the path of a child, I think we'll be better people. To kind of go backwards in time versus trying to move them forward in our time.
Yeah, I think we're all born with an innocence. This world just, ruins us at some point.
Right. And the only way
It
to ruin
jades
it
us.
is because we are ruined people. We are ruined people. Go ahead, Kurt.
Your mic on mute.
I was mute.
Yes.
Okay. You fucked me up today because I thought we were gonna talk about some ratchet shit like usual. And then you said consent. So I'm like, oh, you talking about sexual consent. You talking about kids. If I knew we were talking about parents and kids, I would have When I said it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, I was quoting DJ Quick. I always quote that before I quote my saying, which is if it don't make sense, I ain't gonna fucking do it. That is what I say. And everybody that knows me knows. That's what I say. I don't care about money to the point where I'll do anything for money. There's so much stuff I won't do for money, it ain't even funny.
Right.
But
Look, Kurt, I'm not talking about that though. Yes, we
Yeah.
are going to hit on that.
We
but
know, Kurt.
yeah,
this
but
is
when you
not about
said kids,
sexual consent.
I had to check the chat. I was like, am I on the right call?
Well,
I thought we was
but
on
that's
Dr.
her
Phil or
first
some shit.
scenario.
Look, but you're born as a child, and this is where your concept of consent comes from. Your childhood. So when you get to an adult, you cannot literally give consent because it's been stripped away from you when you were a child. That your body is no longer your body. If he wants to do this, you know, you married, he wants to touch you like this, he wants to do this, and this is what you got to do. This is what this is why we're back on children.
You messed my head up because I'm not even when both women spoke. When the women speak about consent, I get it because men, a lot of times women have foregone, they forfeited their consent to a man.
Well,
We forfeited
men
our
have given
consent.
men
Well,
have
She
parents-
went deeper than that for me because I've never thought about giving consent as a person, as a child. As
You
a
never
female.
thought about it, huh?
I never thought about it like that way. And when I think about consent, I think about signing a consent form or giving consent to have sex or giving consent to run my credit or, you know, something like
I
that.
thought
And
about,
it- and you
I
know
thought
what,
about
Dad?
discretion. Those two words are synonymous. And I thought about discretion. Like when they say parental discretion, you had to get the approval by the parent to watch this show or to go on this trip. You had to get approval. You had to get a okay.
Right.
I've been thinking about consent when it came to relationships all my life. From the very first time. Because there was a book I read when I was a kid. Do y'all remember To Kill a Mockingbird?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what happened to Jim, the black guy?
Yep.
You remember the white woman said he took it or whatever and he didn't? But I've been scared ever since I was a kid. I used to be scared of white women because I always felt like a white woman could just tell them, he touched me or something, you going to jail. You going to get hung.
That's true.
And I heard 100 stories. Emmett Till, Huckleberry Finn, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. It was, I could think of story after story of a black man being killed or imprisoned or punished for just having a relationship, although probably consensual. Probably consensual. Every relationship I had was consensual. So when you say
Well,
consent,
wait a minute.
you
I'm
were-
going to break this down for you because I don't think so. I really don't think so. Because even just thinking about this concept of consent, how much of your consent comes from what you already know? Because I remember when we did the strawberry letter,
yeah.
and her consent of marriage came from her what she saw as a child. So her consent of marriage is he can mess around, and I will still be here. And what I'm trying to pull out is, as children, our level of consent is formed for us by our parents, by what they say, by what we see, by our whole environment. Now,
You're talking about assumptions, though.
What? Because
that's an assumed consent.
You're going to a place that I've never thought to go before, love. But I believe you're right. In my opinion, I think you're right. What we define, I think our parents and our upbringing does have a lot to do with how we move in life, right? And is it really?
But that's the way it's supposed to be, though.
No,
it's what our parents put on us,
right? So, Ovon, remember the lady you said, you gave her the D, and then she was all in. Y'all, she was thinking y'all was in a relationship. She was hunting you down.
Which one?
Look, right.
I took bitches for less.
But Ovon, our level of consent meant I gave you my body. You pleased it so well. We go together.
Yeah,
Now
it's
you
gotta
didn't
be.
give her consent for that thought process. Where did she come up with that thought process? Do you see what I'm saying? Our
Yeah,
level of consent is not
That makes
generated
sense.
based on, you know, what seems logical. And because when I was thinking about it, I was like, man, I've been into some relationships where I didn't consent to be in a relationship. It was never, will you go out with me? No, it was like, oh, we in this. We doing this now.
Assumption.
I call it a finesse. I call it finesse.
Right.
I say
But guess what?
you can't finesse me into no relationship. You know what I'm
No.
saying? All
Right,
of a
because you
sudden,
running.
Boy, I
calling
cook
me-
something for
you
you.
calling me baby, or yeah, you call me boo, or I cook something for you, and you know what I'm saying, like little stuff like that, to where I'll be seeing it, you know, and I'm just like, like wait a minute now, hold up, you know what I'm saying, you know,
And that's where I'm going. Is just, hey, you know, there are some relationships you just fall into. Friendships you just fall into. You know,
right.
just because y'all chilling, y'all not the best of basically until they pop up, oh, this my best friend. You're like, you best friend? Okay.
Says who?
Yes, there was no consent.
Oh, I've definitely been claimed without consent before.
There you
That,
go.
I
So,
agree with
but
that.
in
But I
that,
think you go ahead.
but in that, it's our ability to claim consent started when we were children, because we've been forced to do things as children, and we're like, okay, it's not that much. Okay, fine. They won't claim me as their best friend. Cool, whatever. I don't know them people, but I'm their best friend. It's good. It is what it is. Oh, I ain't doing nothing right now. He can make me his girlfriend. I'll be his girlfriend. He got good benefits. It's consent that needs to be had before you jump into any form of relationship. Because before you jump into buying a car, a house, signing for an apartment, getting a credit card, you, like you said, there's paperwork that has to be made. You don't, in a business transaction, you don't just let somebody claim you. Oh, you're gonna be my credit card holder. Here's some money. There's these levels of consent that we need to give, but we've been stripped from them as far as in our personal life, that we allow things to happen to us without our consent. Yes, people think on consent is just being sexual, but no, you need to consent in your whole life. Take full charge of your life and consent to your life.
The only thing I agree with your spin, but the word consent is to give somebody, is to make an agreement. It's an agreement. Remember what I said a few minutes ago when I said parental discretion. Your parents you didn't just assume it's okay to watch it. This was a hint to you that you should have permission. You couldn't even see a rated R movie when you were under 17 without a parent or guardian. Okay?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Without someone else saying it's okay for you.
I'm gonna go with you on that one. I saw Jaws with my mother and my sisters, and that scarred me for life. So
Right.
I didn't have consent on that. Do you understand? Parental discretion, not child discretion. She never asked me, baby, do you want to go see this movie? It's scary.
Just took you to it.
Yay!
We saw Exorcist. Fuck me up for you.
I actually did. Yes, with my mother. And again, parental discretion, not child discretion.
No.
You know, because some people don't.
But you didn't have any. See, we're not listening to each other. At the beginning of the call, I said there is at 10, when we're kids, we had no discretion, no consent, no such thing. It didn't
yes,
exist.
you do. Now,
No,
hold
it
on.
didn't exist.
But in your
We didn't know
instance,
we
you
had.
didn't.
Mm.
You didn't get to your mother decided you were going to see Jaws.
Oh,
You
yeah.
did not.
You proving what I said.
No. This is my thing: is you're born with discretion for self. If a child doesn't want to go sit on the lap of Uncle Tom, do not make him. This
But
is
that's
what
the Uncle Tom
if
is
a
weird,
child
you know it.
sees a scary dog, do not force that action. If a child, this is what I'm saying, you have these innate things that are inside of you that protect you.
Mhm.
As people, we are born with it.
You're born with discernment. A child has discernment, but not
Discernment, intuition, same.
Yes.
discernment would tell you this is not good. And like I said, it doesn't make sense to you. You can't see this being good. But your parents might say, go ahead. You might be scared to get on that ride, right? But they'd say, go ahead, you'll be okay. Go ahead. And they would make you
fall
do
your little
stuff.
butt out of that ride.
But after you got off the ride, you want to ride again. You didn't want to get in the pool. I got it perfect.
I wouldn't get on.
You didn't want to get in that pool. You were scared to swim. But everybody convinced you to get in the water. It'll be okay. And you learn to swim. Otherwise, you would have never learned to swim because you were scared.
I actually just jumped in. So.
You was okay. Because you had consent, and you knew to get in. You was okay. I don't believe that all kids had consent. We didn't. My generation, we did not have consent. We always knew we might be fearful to do something, but parents used to make us do stuff we didn't want to do, and we would conform. After we did it, we conformed. And I think that's what happened to a lot of young people sexually. They didn't want to do something, but after they did it, they did it already. So they would keep doing it.
They conformed because it was said to be okay to do. Again,
yeah.
Stripped of consent, they were forced to do it. Okay, I liked it. Just because you liked it don't mean you gave consent to
right.
it.
But I think you're rewriting what we were raised to do because you know better now. And it would be great if we had.
I'm questioning this because of the fact that I have grandchildren that are coming up, and I want to question it so that their parents will question it. You know what I'm saying? So that they will do better than I did with them. Give them the choice to do, because I do not ever want to say that I stripped someone from their right to choose. So I have a niece, and she the meanest little girl ever. But she know what she's always known who she gonna fuck with and who she not gonna fuck with.
Right.
She doesn't give hugs, kisses. You tell her to do something, she don't want to do it. She'll just sit there like this.
But you respect that, right?
No.
You don't respect it?
I don't respect it. I watch it and I learn it. It ain't about giving respect or none of that. This little girl was given the options of saying what she is aware of, what she wants to do. Like she is she's 7 going on 8, and she just now warming up to say I love you or give you a hug. I watched that and I was like, you know what? No one forced her to give hugs or kisses, sit on grandpa's lap, or be something that she was not. She developed it to who she was. She was the meanest little child ever. I ain't gonna lie. But that I do believe that she'll grow up to be a person that knows I like this, I don't like this, and I give permission to do this. I will do this, I won't do, but it will be generated thoughts that are in her head that nobody planted, that they were not derived from her parental upbringing.
Aretha, when we were growing up, go ahead. You want to say something?
I have a question. We're talking. Give me a second. I'm trying to get back in situation. I had to go to the bathroom. We're talking about consent from the parents, right? So, first of all, as parents, we're not perfect. We already know that, right?
Right.
But I'm just going to use me for example. I base my parenting skills off of what I didn't like when my parents did it, right? I can.
Peanut butter? We don't know if you froze
fell in the toilet. Okay, since she froze, I'm gonna say this. When I was growing up, I grew up in a diverse community, and my white friends they had consent to say things that I couldn't say or do. And I didn't come home and say, well, I was over my friend's house. He told his mom, don't open my door. This is my room. I don't open your door. Don't open my door. I could have never said that in my mama's house. And I didn't want to say that because it was her house. We had an understanding. This was our house. We didn't disrespect. We thought it was disrespectful to tell our mother. My mom would take your door off. If you told her not to open your door,
I'm sorry,
she
that
would take your
tickles
door
me.
off.
'Cause,
Huh?
I mean, that just the scenario tickles me because I just could imagine me trying that at home and
I'd have been toothless.
how fast I got smacked in the
All
mouth.
this would have
But
been
Aretha
gone.
was saying, well, that little white boy is, assertive, and he's gonna be a complete human being when he gets older. He's gonna know what he likes. No one's gonna force him to. Nah.
He's just a man. He's just a person.
Well, look
No.
here. The thing is, there is consent, and then there is parenting. I think
Okay.
we are kind of mixing the two. It's not consent to have your parent open your door. That's not consent. It's parenting.
You don't open your kid's door. You
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
have done
opened
it.
my kid's door. Again,
Okay.
I did open my kid's door, but I'm saying forcing them to do something with their bodies that they do not want to do is what
No.
I'm saying. It's consent. Meaning, I'm not saying open the door. That's a door. The door don't have to have consent to be opened or closed. My house, my rules. I get that. Watch the.
But your body.
Rules are
You talking
rules.
about?
Your
I respect
body.
that. You talking about their bodies,
Your
like
body.
sitting on Uncle John's lap. I agree
Right.
with
Right.
I wouldn't
Go
have made him
look,
do that.
this is where I'm saying taking consent.
No, I
And,
know
that. That's
that.
parenting. That's parenting.
yes, that's parenting. But when you're telling your children to go do something with their physical body that they don't know if they say yes or no, we have to be, as parents, we have to be the thought process for our children and to know how they are forming their thought process. Do you want to, or could you go give Granny a kiss for relief? She see you giving your mother a kiss or your father a kiss. That's establishing a loving environment. I get that, but this your uncle twice removed. Make sure you go over there and give him a hug and a kiss. But earlier he was trying to fondle her in the bathroom. Now you're making her to go
Yeah.
a hug and a kiss. I mean,
Right.
I'm
I get that.
saying
No, like I was a
get
very
that.
loving child, right? Like I would work. I would work the room, right?
Yeah,
My
work.
mother didn't. That's how I was made. I
Right.
tell my grandmother, Daddy, hey, that's the kind of kid I was, right? My
Right.
daughter's not like me, right? But she's my child. She is a part of me, but she is her own person, and I have allowed her to be that, you
Right.
know. And I think sometimes we see our children as a reflection of us, or we try to live vicariously through our children. But my daughter is not me. She
right,
is her own person,
Right.
and I
Right.
let her be that.
right.
Yeah.
And telling them what to wear, what looks good on them. When they develop that self projection of themselves,
Right.
that if you telling them, go put them skinny jeans on, put that tube top on, and they don't like that because it shows too much of their body. Because most children are very aware of their bodies, don't want to show their bodies. Most children, I will put that out there.
Doing that.
I was gonna say
Oh,
you been to Oak Cliff
But
lately?
you
it's
messing
a
me
little
up today.
6-year-old that's on
What
TV,
happened since we
tube top
spoke last
and
time?
skinny jeans twerking. How do you think that happened? It's because their parents gave consent for them to wear that, to do that, to be that.
Girls,
Oh,
girls
not
change
always. You
clothes.
didn't. Did nobody ever go out and change their outfit after they left
They
the house?
change after they leave.
But this is, I'm
And they-
saying,
Hell
this is
no, my
older.
mama had
I'm talking
snitches.
about a 5 or 6-year-old. I'm talking about a 5 or 6-year-old in a tube top and some skinny jeans twerking on Twitch.
What's going on in Texas?
Is that was not in Texas? This is why I'm trying. This is what I'm saying.
Damn,
Because
Kirk.
when your
Calm
kids-
down.
Your kids will tell you what they are comfortable with.
Oh.
Your kids will tell you what they're comfortable with wearing.
Yes, they most definitely
And
will.
if we are
And
talking
I
to
promise
listen
you.
to them and tell them that you have the right to consent to what you wear, who touches your body, or not where you go, but like tell them you have consent to who touches your body, what you put on your body. It gives them a perception of self.
So if I tell my daughter you want to wear this dress to church on Easter, and she says no, I'm not. I want to wear pants.
And do you ask why? Because maybe that's not who she's trying to be at that moment.
I'm sorry, Aretha. I'm so sorry, but if I tell my
tell
damn daughter,
not to wear shit, not to put on a tube top. I said,
Yeah.
Daddy, we're not leaving that house with that on, baby. And they be like, but Daddy, and I said, convince me why I should let you wear it. And they think about it and they go change.
Okay, but guess what? You just did. You did give them a position to have consent because you asked them, why should you wear?
Yeah.
You know,
But the answer was no. I'm not letting my daughter walk out looking like a thirsty thought.
But again,
so wait. Let me ask you a question. At what age are you saying we should allow them to have those type of choices?
at
After they
age
preteen.
0. At age 0. Now,
So you're saying from a little kid, we should give them the options to have consent to certain things, their body, what they wear, where they go. We should
I
give
didn't say
them,
where they go. I didn't say where they go because.
but what they wear in their body.
Yeah.
Well, like my daughter, I found at an early age with my daughter, she did not like pink. She's like, stop trying to put me in all this pink. I don't want to wear it. So I was like, okay.
Now, how
I
would
like
that
pink.
happen?
She told me I don't like pink. Okay.
And how would that happen? You said, "Now you gonna wear this pink dress. I bought this dress. You gonna wear this."
Well, I'm an open-minded woman. I wouldn't do that.
But this
I mean,
one-
I know some parents who is like, "It's my way," and that's it.
But
That's how it was in my household.
There is
that's
nothing
how
else.
it was
There
in
is
my
nothing else.
household, and this is what I'm
Yeah.
saying is you
Yeah.
can't consent when you do that versus having. I'm not saying, like Kirk said, have a conversation about it. Don't just be my way or the highway. Why? You know, give me proof why you should wear this. Da 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 da.
Like with your
Oh,
niece,
well, you quiet.
talking about love.
No, he listened.
You said I kind of was with everything you said except for the part where if you tell her to do something and she don't want to, she just stand there and look at you. See, I would have been a smash mouth.
Oh, see that this is the thing. So in that concept is come and give me a hug, come and give me a kiss. She just stand there and look at you.
Yeah. Well, no.
Then,
So,
but
that was
Oh, I
on
thought
her.
you were saying that somebody told her to go
Oh, no.
take the trash out or something. She didn't want to. She'd just be like,
Oh no!
I don't get
No,
the
when you
sense
tell
of
her to do something with her body, she will
I
stand there and look
refuse.
at you like you done shitted on yourself.
no, but you.
well,
you
with my
kinda
background, I don't force those types of things ever.
It's an exaggeration, but I see it. When you say "come give me a kiss," I see parents that tell a kid, "Come here, give me a kiss, give me a hug," and the kids don't want to. And to me, that could be kind of bullyish, kind of making them do something they don't want to do. But
Yeah.
it seems to be accepted. People do it like crazy. And you're right, Aretha. People do that to their kids. But like I said, you remember when I said if it don't make sense?
If it don't
Okay.
make dollars.
So no, that's DJ Quick. If it don't make sense, I ain't gonna fucking do it. Period. Okay. So what I always have said in that scenario is, talk to me, tell me why. And if they give me a good enough excuse, reason, justification, shit, I'm with it. I got your back. But it gotta make sense why you say you can't do something. If you say, my mother asked me to drive her to Dallas from LA. And I said, Mama, I'll buy you a ticket, airplane ticket. She said, I can't fly. I said, why? She said, I'm scared. Okay, shit. I had to drive her. You know why? She was scared. I'm not gonna make her
You have to
fly.
respect that, right?
If she's scared, I'm not gonna make somebody do something that what I don't want to do.
Okay.
If I'm
And
scared
have
to
you
do something,
ever
you can't
done
make me
that
do
same scenario with your children?
Yes.
Because guess
Yes.
what? Children can, if they have not been trained to know what the emotion is that they're emitting, they'll say, I don't know.
But I
don't know.
trained
I
them.
just don't want to.
I train up a child in the way they should go. And when they were old, they would not depart from it. I trained them to speak up. But I didn't train them to do what you were telling us, like that girl that not saying nothing and all that. No, my kids we didn't train that. And yeah, they was trained to show respect to their grandparents, stuff like that. But they wasn't trained to sit on Uncle John's lap. Because Uncle John is a freak. And we all knew Uncle John was a freak. We knew it. No, don't go. As a matter of fact, when Uncle John is here, don't go in. Don't leave the room. Don't go in no rooms with Uncle John. That's how I trained him.
I had a relative that I told my daughter to stay away from.
Yes.
I had quite a few of them. Quite a few.
Yeah. Let's keep it
Because
real.
it's gonna be a family feud. Because I'm about to fuck him up.
I'm going to jail.
Yep.
All right, guys, we gotta take a break, and we're gonna be right back after these commercial moments.
Cool.
Stick with us. You are
What
following
you
us.
smoking?
This is Paula Santo.
Oh, the screen's so little. I thought
I
you
have
was
never
in
done
business.
drugs
Go to
on
break,
this
people.
podcast.
Let me go to break. We are going to break. We will be
Smoke
back.
break.
You did look like a
Stick
special
around.
hooker.
Follow,
I'm just
like,
saying.
Yeah.
share,
I was
comment. We
I
appreciate
like that.
I just wanted y'all to know that I'm back.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
All right, we are back from our little commercial break. If you're
Can
just
I-
not
I have to say this. I love that little shimmy at the end. The little shimmy she do. That is so
I know. Can I
fucking
buy
hot.
that outfit?
oh Lord. Pause, y'all. Pause. Thank you for tuning in. If you're tuning in Twitch, on YouTube, or on Facebook, please feel free to comment or in our chat. We love interacting with our people. Make sure you like, share, and comment to be notified when we go live. Again, tonight's show is based off of consent. Now we're starting with children, but we're gonna grow up a little bit as teenagers and consent. I mean, those teenagers, that are starting to get a little hormonal and starting to smell themselves, those who and consent. We started with children. We couldn't get, everybody wanted to dance. We advancing gradually. So we're talking about teenagers and consent. What are your thoughts? We'll start with you, Mike. You've been unconditionally silent.
Well, I don't know. I think about when I was a teenager. My thing was I wouldn't shake everybody's hand. Especially like if my mom had a boyfriend or something and she was trying to introduce me, I was that one. I wasn't shaking no hand. Or even some of my friends, some of my relatives or somebody, they would introduce me. I just when I got introduced to some people, if I didn't get a good vibe from them, I wouldn't shake their hand.
Because that's a form of consent.
And I wouldn't be apologetic because they used to say something to me about it, like, man, why you be like that? Because I was taught to respect my elders, but there was just some people's energy. I didn't want to shake their hand. They would try to reach out to shake my hand, and I wouldn't shake their hand, and I wouldn't fret about it. You know what I'm saying? At all. And I would catch flack about it from my family and all of that shit, but I ain't give a fuck. If I ain't feeling you, I ain't finna shake your hand. I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? They were like, why you act like that? Cause I don't know you. I don't know that person. I don't know who they is. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't feel you, I'm not gonna give you that introduction. You know what I'm saying? You really can get the fuck from around us. You know what I'm talking about? That's how I was. So
What
just
levels
keep it on.
of consent do you all believe that a teenager should have?
What I give them?
And what level? I mean, where's the level? They're not fully adults, but what level of consent do you still believe that they should have?
What if it don't make sense? Don't do it. So if you're doing something and you know it's gonna be a problem, you probably shouldn't do it. So I was telling them that when they were little, when they were young, coming up. I coached basketball, football, and track. You know that, so they was always around. I was always in their life, within reach. So they knew how to ask for stuff. And then you notice this, y'all co-sign if you notice it. When kids' parents are around, there's a lot of kids that ask their parents for like, hey, is it all right if I go do this? Is it all right if I did it? And it wasn't because I was controlling them. It was because kids disappear and don't nobody know what happened to them. They just walk away. And I told them, but I'm going to go back. The reason they did that was because I explained to them already why they had to ask me. I said, you're not just asking for my permission. You letting me know where you are so that you never taken away from me. And they looked at it like, well, damn, he don't want me to be taken away from him. I'm going to check in with my daddy before I do something. It was a respect. It wasn't a bullying. I said it like a bully when I said how much I allowed him, but that's because it's my responsibility to protect him. And I think for me to think that a child has the ability or the discretion at 9, 10 years old to make those decisions, that's poor parenting on my part. I'm supposed to train them up. That's not good training. So what year? I think it's kind of each child, like Peanut Butter said, as they get older. I had one of my three, the three, you know, Aretha, one of them's ahead of the game. They were given a little bit more freedom because they made good decisions. There's one that make bad decisions. They don't get that same autonomy because you know what you did last time. Yeah, you're right. Okay, we gotta do better. But I don't think there is one particular rule for everybody that.
I agree with that.
I do too.
But
fully.
You know, I'm about to go somewhere because I mean, you know, when you think about consent and you think about your health, I mean, there's actually something going on in this country right now with transgender children, right? And
be careful.
Y'all know me. I'm a firm believer in being yourself, loving yourself as you are. My only issue with this is, as a child, are you mature enough to make this decision about yourself?
Dwayne Wade thinks.
Are you? I mean, I know, but I'm just saying, for people who are like doing hormone therapy to stop puberty and, you know, things like that for, you know, minor children, is this really the time? What if you change your mind, you know? But then in this instance, the parents are giving consent to go forth and proceed, you know, but I'm sure this is what their child wants as well.
My son wanted to play basketball.
But are they ready? And when are you ready? And would you handle that too on a case-by-case basis, depending on the child?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely. My son wanted to play basketball, but he went to college on a full scholarship for football. When he was trying to make his mind up for the other sport, I knew then that wasn't his sport. And this is a parent influencing him. I let him play basketball, but he didn't get a full scholarship in basketball. He didn't get an offer in basketball. His sport is football. And he might go pro because he picked the right sport. I don't care if he ever plays, but it was his decision to go football in the end. But I did help him make that decision as he got older. But I gave him a choice every time. Which one do you want to do? And I kind of do the odds. You want to be the starting point guard. The starting point guard in your team right now is 6'3", You 5'8". Okay? But in football, the strong safety, you're the same height as the strong safety at the #1 school in the state. You got a good chance of playing football at this height. You know, I use logic. Again, makes sense. It's got to make some sense. A child that can't make his mind up on which sport doesn't need to make his mind up at 8 that I want to be a girl. Are you sure?
You know what, Kirk, you're right with the make sense. But again, I will point out the fact that you're having a discussion with your child. So then there is that. I do believe that the parents that are not having these discussions with their children or they may be having discussions with their children. I'm not going to speak on that, but I'm going to say this. But within everything that happens in your life as an adult, your parent has to either sign off on it or push it forward. Until you're 18, you're not able to make decisions on your own. And I don't think that adult decisions such as reassignment, sexual reassignment, birth control, any of that should be on the discretion of the child, because I don't know any child that's smart enough to do enough research on and think about the future ahead. So yeah, there is parenting, and then there is consent. Again,
you asked a question on, when they're teenagers, does your level of consent change or whatever? And it does. I set all of my children down and I told them about the traumas that I went through. You know what I'm saying? And my mom, she told me I was wrong for doing that. Like, you shouldn't have never told those kids you were raped. You never shouldn't have told your kids you were molested. You know why I did that? I needed my kids to know it was okay if something or this came about, you can come talk to me. I'm not going to fuss at you. I'm not going to argue with you. We cool. Come holler at your mama. You know what I'm saying? I had a open door policy. Even if my door was closed, you could still come and talk to me. Right. But when my kids got to that point of everybody wanted to do different things, like one wanted to be in the band, one wanted to do this, I left that choice up to them. Right. The more you do good, the more things I allow you, because now I see you make good decisions. I allow you to make more choices. Right. I get you. The consent changes with each child. I had one child, that boy was flunking classes and getting in trouble at school. Like, I'm like, dude, what is you doing? But I still had to let him mess up to see him, show him, hey, you can't do this because you did this. Because for every choice you make, there is a consequence. Whether it be good or bad, there's still going to be a consequence to it. And that's what I explained to my children. And that's how that's why I was able to handle them each differently. Everybody knew the rule. Hey, you make this decision. If you make this one, this is going to happen. You make this one is going to happen. So you choose which way you want to do it. It could be a good or a bad outcome. And which each one of them, actually my oldest son came to me and was like, Mom, you let my second oldest do more than he did. And I was like, well, he showed me he could be trusted. That's what that's how you will know what level of consent to give each child, because you gave them this, they did right by that, so let me go ahead and try them on this. Because you can't just throw it at them all at once, because that's how they fuck up. Because they really don't know what to do. And when you're giving them consent, you're guiding them in the direction that it could help them and not hurt them.
You're agreeing.
Their level of
Consent
maturity.
is agreement or permission.
Yes.
So yeah, you're held accountable for that agreement. You agreed with me when I did it. You gave me consent.
Yeah. You was like, okay, Mama. Yes, ma'am. Or if you didn't like it, you say, no, ma'am. Now, one thing I heard Kirk talking about, he influenced his son to do football. I told my kids, I said, I will back you in anything that you do. Just don't quit on me. If you give it 100% and you still can't do it, then okay, let's go a different route. But you got to see for yourself that you can't do that, because I can't do it for you.
I didn't tell him no. We talked about it, obviously. I just said that I know, let's be honest, you should be a little bit more influential than a child. You should be able to talk to them and if it's something, like if I take you to the store and you got a choice between some Shaqs or some Jordans, okay? Which one they want, the Shaqs or the Jordans?
Jordans.
Okay. Can you talk them into getting the Shaqs? I could.
I bet
I
you
could.
could.
I could explain that I can get you
Mhm.
5 pairs of Shaqs or 1 pair of Jordans. Which one you want? They wanted 5 pairs of Shaqs. They got 5 pairs of Shaqs. Every color, whatever. It made sense. That's just being smarter than your kid. It's not, and he ain't gonna regret having 5 pairs of shoes. Okay? But that's an adult influence on a child. Later when he got older, he saw the wisdom in that, and now he's a little more frugal. I don't think my son owned a pair of Jordans. He played football, not basketball. Now he don't see. He thinks it's stupid to spend $300 on 1 pair of shoes.
It
Okay?
is.
But it wasn't when he was a kid and his friends had Jordans. I said, I'll get you a pair of Jordans, but you can get 5 of these and you can have a different pair for every day. Shit, let's run the Shaqs then. Okay? And then on his birthday, I might get you some Jordans, and I would get him some later. You know why? Because he was willing to listen. So I rewarded him for being open-minded and listening. You feel me?
Mhm.
All right. So so we're all in agreement that your level of consent changes as you mature.
Yes.
Yes.
Experiences.
Maybe.
So you still have the same level of consent that you had as a child.
No.
Maybe.
I think experience, not just age, but experience. Because
We just
one
talk
like
about consent now, sir. Just talk about consent, not experience. Consent. Does your level of consent change as you get older, as a teenager, from a child to a teenager? Does it change?
yes.
Sometimes. I would like to give an example, but
Okay.
I've waited till closer to the end because y'all know I am the trauma queen.
You are. I love it.
You are not.
So I
Cheers.
said trauma, not drama. Trauma queen. So let's just talk about sexual consent,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Next.
So by age 11, I'd been sexually abused 3 times, right? Each time there was nothing really done. So as I grew up, I had an idea about consensual sex, right?
Of your experience.
So one of the things I feel like that happened to me was I didn't value myself or my body because it wasn't a big deal. So I didn't know to not give consent. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I didn't know to stand up for myself or that I had the right to decline. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that happened from a very small child, even through up into my adult years, because it was no big deal, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So I think in some cases, yes, your ability to give proper consent, or consent is yes or no. You know what I mean? But I think sometimes you may learn to make the best decision for yourself, but I think sometimes it takes time before you learn what proper consent is. You know what I'm saying? Because I might say yes to you. I said yes, which I'm giving consent. You understand what I'm saying? However, I shouldn't be saying yes to this. I should be saying no to this. But I'm saying
You said yes to
consent
something.
had already been given when you
No
were
big deal.
younger. Because the consent had already been given as you were younger, and you didn't know better that you had the right to withdraw consent.
right.
Okay.
Well, because when you give consent, you're in agreement. It's either yes or when you consent, it's we agree.
Right.
And I know that I agreed, or not even necessarily agreed, but didn't have the courage to decline.
Right. And you know what? We're going to say with Ty, when he was a teenager, he was into a sexual relationship
Right.
with an older woman. And
Right. That he
didn't know
voluntarily.
because he didn't know.
Right.
He had already given consent So we thought it was just okay to keep on keeping on. This is cool.
Yep.
You know, I'm a man. I'm a real man because now I got this older woman.
I'm drinking and fucking.
There
We-
you go.
I had sex
All about consent.
as a man.
stupid.
I didn't know I had consent either. I never considered saying no. I felt like, and O can vouch for this. We kind of sometimes took one for the team. When you go out, if you, let's say we all went out and it was 4 girls and 4 guys, I gotta knock her down. Why? There's 4 girls and 4 guys. Hey, we gotta represent for the hood. We can't just you can't just go home be talking about, yeah, everybody had fun except for your homeboy scary ass. No,
Right.
we didn't know we
It's
could
that
say
peer
no.
pressure.
Yes, we
Yeah,
didn't know we
man.
could say no. I had my uncle by marriage walked in on me and a girl, and I kept going. I ain't say nothing, and he was like, "Wow," because he was older than me. But guess what? That got out to the street. Now I got a reputation.
And you
Okay.
gotta uphold that reputation, right?
Now I got to uphold that reputation. People be talking about, man, he be
Oh,
knocking
yeah.
down girls in high school. He in middle school.
Right.
So that's getting out there.
And you no longer have the consent to say no.
I never
was
thought
girl.
about no ever when I was young.
Right. Wonder why.
That
was
is a
never
good
taught.
So
question.
it's up to the
Because he wasn't
parent. It's
taught.
up to the parent to teach the child.
She didn't
You
know I
know,
was doing anything.
it's
My
okay to say,
single parent, and a single parent wasn't telling me in 1979, you know, don't do this, don't do that. They wasn't telling me that because I didn't get in no
"Damn,
trouble.
Kirk, I was 2.
Hey, I'm old. 79, you was 2.
I was 2.
Hey, we're glad it wasn't
Why
you,
Uncle Kurt?
but we know it wasn't you.
It wasn't me.
That part we know.
But look here, I'm gonna go backwards for you, Kurt. I'm gonna go backwards for you, Kurt, because what I do know that is you were in some situations where you thought you were giving consent, but you were not. But I'm gonna break it down for you. You know how when they say when young kids or the boy is pulling the girl's hair, they like them.
Yeah.
And tell the girl, you know, when the boy's hitting them, they like them.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that giving consent to a relationship of abuse?
Oh my God. Damn. We didn't have to go that far back, did we?
There's a movie about that. What movie is that?
My girl.
Right.
I mean,
My girl.
we essentially teach girls that love is supposed to hurt,
There you go.
Sometimes it do.
Moving forward to Kurt's
or it's got to be hard. You know, it's gotta be
younger
difficult.
years where he's, you know,
Definitely gonna be hard.
frequent flyer. Right. We're gonna move it forward to where Kirk is a frequent flyer. Were there promiscuous girls in your class?
Yes.
Did you hit it?
Did I hit it?
Yes. The
Yeah.
promiscuous girls, of course.
Yes.
Now, given a choice, as an adult, I'll say, given a choice as an adult, looking back on this time, would you have made another option? Would you have made another choice if you knew the outcome?
Yeah. If I knew some of the things I learned, yes. My experience changed my decision making.
Right.
My options changed with experience. But when you're if you're 14, 15 and you want a girl and there's no girls your age around and they're a little bit older than you, you're gonna be like, hey, shit, I gotta make lemonade.
Okay. But I'm saying, like, even in that scenario that you gave where the peer pressure was on and you felt you had no way to consent to say no, your
Yep.
consent is for you is no. It's not yes. Your consent is yes or no. You did.
It was yes.
Right.
It was always yes until I found out I could say no.
There you go.
So wait. So wait, let me ask a question. Hold on. Have you ever been put in a situation where you felt like you couldn't say no sexually?
Nah, hell no. Nah, if I'm
Vaughn, you are lying. I'm sorry, sir. You are lying. Do you remember what you were telling us?
Hey, love is the elephant of the group. She's the elephant. She don't forget shit.
You remember
Yeah,
Stanky
what?
Coochie?
There you go.
Stanky Coochie.
You went on and did it.
When the phone hit the fan.
We done it. We don't say
That
no.
was consent.
Yeah.
We didn't
You
say
were
no all
vulgar.
the time. No.
That's true. Yeah. Since you
Did
Kirk,
y'all
you
ever play?
didn't.
Did y'all ever play hide and go
Kirk.
get it?
Yes,
Oh,
Play
yeah.
hide and go get it.
yes. And
What
I
would
got
have
in
happened
trouble
if you?
too.
What happened if you found the girl but you didn't get it, and you a boy?
Oh, you was gonna get clowned,
You gonna get clowned if you don't get it.
and you can't play no more.
What was y'all back there getting?
Oh,
Whatever
they was
you get.
goosing. They was goosing.
You wasn't back there.
That was hunching.
Hunching.
Yeah, hunching.
Phoning. We were phoning.
We were
Boning.
Phoning.
I caught my
Yes,
sister
Lord.
doing hide and go get it under the bushes, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna
I
take
think we should play that as an adult. Like that would be a different how to go get it if we were adults playing it. You know,
Boning was fun. What the fuck y'all talking about?
that would be fucking
Boning was
fun.
good. Shit, I
What the
bone
Yeah,
fuck?
one
right
day,
was
now.
that?
Anybody
DJ
want
James
to
Dark
Yo.
Knight,
Y'all
thank you
were
for
hot
tuning
for
in.
you.
Yo, what was that?
You remember that?
What was that, bro? What was that? Please, somebody.
That meant something. That used to
I'm
mean
having a
something.
childhood flashback.
That used to mean something right there.
And I can see him doing it too. That's what's crazy.
That means Ova was always the one trying to find the girls. Look at him. He's made sideways.
No, man, the girls are finding me. The girls are
What
finding
y'all
me.
looking nice? What them old
And
face
whoever-
them old folks
and
say you little
whoever
man and
punched him, right?
The girls was always faster than the boys. Always. And tell me I'm lying.
yeah. That's
Don't
true.
tell me I ain't
He's
lying.
100%
Tell me
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
All of the
These girls were older than me, so
are
you telling me-
the girls was faster than the boys? I didn't have to. The girls, I'll be sitting around like Mr. Innocent. I'm sitting
I had
around
an
like
older
Mr.
Until
Innocent.
it was hunch time.
were you the youngest?
I'm the oldest.
I was the youngest, so I was always around older kids. The girls were older, and the girls would be like, parents would not let the girls go out. So I might find myself in a situation where it's 4 girls and me. All right.
Mm.
And one of the girls is like, your brother's cute, to my sister. Your brother's cute. And they would play with you and kiss you and be like, come give me a kiss, Kirk, and play with you. And you thinking it's funny until one of them serious. One of them will go a little further than the other one. The one that taught me how to tongue. Y'all remember tonguing?
Did you give consent?
Kid.
No, she didn't ask for consent.
She
I
just took it.
She took it. She told me, come here, let me show you how to tongue.
Come here, boy. Bring them lips here, boy.
Well, see, with me, my uncle.
She licked my teeth.
I'm the oldest. See,
She
I'm
did
the
what?
oldest.
Lick
She
my
licked your
teeth.
teeth. Yeah. That was sexy back in the day.
Oh, Lord.
I'm still down.
Now,
Still
see, my
there.
uncles,
That was
uncles,
some
my
sexy
youngest
shit,
uncles,
boy.
my youngest uncles are older than me. I'm the oldest, so I didn't have no big brothers. My youngest uncle, like 6 years older than me, so I was always around them. So I grew up liking older females. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really too much care for the girls that was my age.
Cause they was
And
flat
a lot
chest.
because a lot of that was, you know, I would kind of say maybe unconsensual too, because knowing damn well I'm not supposed to be fucking around with somebody older than me. When I'm really like 17, messing with girls is like in their 20s already.
Who's to say? Look, when you get past a certain age, who's to say about the numbers? It doesn't matter.
That's what I said. I mean, so,
That's what
you
we
know,
believe. That's
it's
totally.
either
But when
here
I
or
became a
there.
parent,
R. Kelly to Aaliyah.
and when I found out that R. Kelly married Aaliyah at 12 or 14,
14.
that bothered me. And that, as a parent, as a dad, I was conscious of how old these boys were around my daughter. And I had twins, a boy and a girl. So, you know, my son's friends liked his sister. Also, my son's, my daughter's girlfriends liked her brother. So that went back and forth a lot. And I had to kind of keep an eye open. Because I thought about what I did, see, but I got an advantage. O has an advantage. Our experience helped us know better than to look out for that. Because had I not had those experiences with those older girls, I wouldn't have known to watch the older girls with my son or the older boys with my daughter. I wouldn't have known.
You know what I find interesting about doing this show with these 3 men
What?
is about how we usually, when we think about somebody being out of line, we usually think it's a man with a younger woman, but they all have stories about older women being out of line with them.
Because he said women have always been faster than us. It's true.
Women
always
do
been-
mature faster than men. That is
Yes,
true.
It's true.
They've always been ahead of us since we were young, and we
Yeah,
knew.
but if a man is violating a young girl, he's a sick and a pedophile. Are these women not sick and pedophiles?
No,
as
they're
well?
pedophiles too.
We just got lucky. That's what we looked at it.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean,
But
think
y'all
about
don't
it.
understand
I would have
that
never
you
told
They're
her.
can't-
wrong. They're
The
wrong.
women-
Would you all?
And
Hold
their
on, y'all.
behavior is just as destructive.
It is.
But
Yes.
listen, we have women that have been arrested and had to do time for dealing with younger men, the
But
teachers.
it's
And I have to-
Cedar Hill.
It's
There was a teacher,
unfortunate
coach. She-
because
she-
they shouldn't
I
have
saw
the
it.
same
I saw it.
stories
I can
we
see it
have.
happen.
They shouldn't
mean,
have the
but-
same stories that we have.
I mean, but still, it's whether they want to believe it or not, the woman is a pedophile. She's a pedophile. She's messing with someone younger, and
She's on
it's
the
like
register.
if you
But a lot of
if
that
you
goes
call a woman that
unreported
you feel
because
like
they enjoy it.
Right. But
They
that's
feel
Enjoy
like
it
hold
doesn't
up,
mean
that's
not
going back
wrong.
to our whole topic.
Consent.
Consent.
They were too young for consent. That's why they call it statutory.
No, but this is the thing with guys, they believe they don't have to give consent for a woman to take advantage of them.
yes,
That's
they
it.
do.
No. That's just Kurt just said.
That's how society has it.
His tongue down his throat. He did not give consent, but he was cool
He
with
didn't
it.
care. He
Right?
didn't
Why
care.
didn't you care? Why?
If
didn't
I go to
you
court today, I give consent today because when we were back then, we didn't look at it as though it was wrong. I'm telling you, no boy my age would be like, I'm shook because of what this woman did to me. I hear
What if
people
she
talking like
did
that
more
now.
than just stick her tongue down your throat? Well, she took your virginity. You good with that though, right?
Mhm.
You gave her consent to do that, right?
I could have stopped. I didn't.
So you gave her consent unknowingly.
I assumed it was okay. Just
Hold
like
on,
Dad
y'all.
said, I assumed I didn't have a reason or a
Listen.
right to say no.
I'm letting look,
I
all
assumed.
y'all.
I assumed
Listen.
because I did used to think that you just couldn't say no.
Pause. Guess
Hold
who
on,
in the
Kurt.
building?
Turkey's gonna go.
Is he here?
The birthday boy.
The birthday boy!
Yeah.
Yes.
What it do?
You.
What it do? What it
That's
What's
what
up,
we
Bo?
do
do?
in the house.
When we get off the show, I'll give you a birthday twerk after the
With
show.
your old
Well, here
ass.
you go.
That is so cool. Thank you.
I said when he come on, we gotta do his real. Look,
Oh
we
man, that is
supposed to
freaking
be
amazing.
with Ty Bear on his birthday, but Ty had other plans.
I'm
So
so
we had
sorry,
to
I
do the
just-
best we could.
I just flew in and that's the airport behind me. I'm getting in my car right now.
All right. So we jumping back in to consent. Go ahead, Kurt.
Continue, single play.
All I'm saying, I didn't know I had consent when it came. I didn't learn about consent till I was grown, really. And we do have to teach it. I taught it to my children, but I didn't know about it when I was young. Because I was
Right.
raised, like you said, I'm gonna go back and give you credit for comparing it to being a child because our parents told us you're a child. And when you're a child, you know your place. You stepped
Right.
out of line, they told you you're out of place.
Or they knocked you back into place.
Yeah. So I didn't know. But when
And
I
I
got
think-
older,
So
I
we
think
gonna
that-
move on to our consent levels. Consent
Uh-oh.
as adults.
Oh, shit.
We move past consent as children. We see how it kind of grows with you. It doesn't just stay dormant in your childhood. We see how. I want to also say, hey, DJ James Dark Knight, he in the chat, and I ain't putting none of his stuff up. We see you. Thank you for commenting, and I am just tripping over everything you say. And I couldn't get a word in edgewise to get you in too. But thank you for tuning in. Okay, consent as adults is fed by what we grow up with as our belief system. Now we were talking about men and the consent or lack of thereof, but it's acceptable because they don't have to give consent. Is this how you all see it?
That's how I saw it.
Ty,
Yo.
question. Ty.
Talk to me.
Okay, so we talked about it on the show before. You had this relationship with that older woman, right?
Yep.
Where you were drinking and fucking. We know that.
Yep.
Okay.
Drinking and fucking.
Did you give consent, or what? Did it just happen?
Nah, she just kind of took the dick.
So she basically raped you.
Yeah, like it really was like I had no it was never a question, was I okay with it, or is this something I wanted to do? It was just something that I thought I was supposed to do. Like I was supposed to go along
Kirk
with it.
was saying, yeah.
So why is the level of consent for men less
Traumatic?
Because for them, and if you notice, a lot of men don't talk about it. A lot of men don't talk about it. But for them, that's like a trophy.
It's a badge of honor.
Woman, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how society has made it.
Right.
Yeah, it help your rep. You know, yeah, I was with this 24-year-old and you 16. Yeah, I beat her back in, woo, woo, woo. Not realizing that that's wrong. She did damn wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but my beard came in. Right after I hit that, I start growing
Shut up, Kirk.
That shit do change you. Confidence.
So you're okay with Kirk Jr. hitting the old woman so his beard can come in, right?
It's up to him.
Well, what about Lil Bootsy? His son, what was his son, 12?
When he got a stripper for him?
And he got that blowjob? Is that cool?
Hey, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Everybody parent different. Maybe that's what he wanted. He wanted to make sure his son was a boy. I don't know.
I would have appreciated the blowjob.
It's a crime.
I would have been okay with it when I was 12.
But that's what's crazy because my ex-husband, my oldest son, he's 25 now. But he was like, when our son turns 12, I'm gonna get him this, that, and the third. And he was a pimp, so he had the hoes to do it. But I'm like, no, wait, I don't think he ready for that yet. Like that's what's going through my head. So I think it's really on the discretion of the parent. Cause he probably caught his son doing some other shit anyway, or watching porn, or
maybe his son started exhibiting feminine traits, and he just wanted to make sure he wasn't going down.
Yeah, it's for a plethora of reasons.
I defend the pimp. He knew what he was doing.
But again, here we go with this level of consent that has been removed from men. But if you switch the legs of it, it's terrible. Oh my God, it's so wrong.
It's rape, and he going to jail for 30 years. He should die. But nobody gets the same energy for women. Like nobody gets the same energy.
Yeah, like
right.
I got that same energy for him.
Right, but the men also have that same the energy, the same energy for men. Whereas your son come home and tell you, Mom, Dad, this woman, she took me in this room and she kissed me and put her hands down my pants. Oh, was she fine? What's wrong with this picture?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is wrong with it, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Because you as a parent now have condoned him not having any level of consent for the rest of his life.
You just gave him consent.
No.
You just consented for that behavior.
Him not having consent
for that behavior.
You approved him being violated.
Yeah.
Right. You just approved of it. You put a cosign on it and said that person was right for doing what they did to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. That's exactly.
You got a whole lot of thoughts
exactly
going
what happened
through your head because you got some eyes going. What is on your mind, sir?
That's exactly what happened to me.
Yes, Ovon. What is going on?
Flashbacks.
And I was just thinking about. I feel like when it's too young. I feel like when when the consent is too young, it does create some developmental issues. Like I feel like because I started being intimate and having sex at a young age, I feel like I was over sexualized too early. You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying? You know,
I
because
definitely
I was in a situation. I was in a situation. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was kind of thinking of, you know, when y'all caught me in thought, I was thinking about because my uncles were older, and I my first time kind of messing with a chick that was older than me, I kind of felt like it would be cool with my uncles. And when I told them, they kind of was like they didn't even believe me at first, you know. So at first they was kind of like, what? Like it was cool. And then when they found out that I was really for real, they was like boy, you ain't even been through puberty yet. Like you're not supposed to be having sex. I had sex before I went through puberty. I'm just being honest.
How
You know what I'm
old
saying?
was
Question.
on?
Go on, Pete.
How old was I?
Mm-hmm.
I was like 11.
Oh yeah, no.
I have a question
How old
for
was
the
she?
guys. For the guys. So we're sitting and talking about consent, and until you knew about consent, you know how you get that feeling of I don't really think I should be doing it. Did any of y'all have that type of feeling? Even not know, you know, you didn't know that, hey, I got a choice here, but with that knowledge not in your head, how did you feel when you just, you know, okay, we knew it was wrong, but y'all didn't? How was that feeling? Like, was you confused? Like, what was going through your head?
First, I'm gonna go first because I'm gonna make it quick. I had no idea it was wrong. I wasn't scared. I was nervous because all those times I tried to get some pussy, they said no, not yet. That this one was finna let me fuck. Okay? Yeah, I'm being honest. I was like, oh shit. I was a little nervous because at this point, this is where they always go, no, not yet. But she wasn't saying, no, not yet. She was putting the rub on. And I was like, shit. And I was like, okay, it's gonna happen. And after it happened, I was happy it happened. And the only thing that made me think about consent now is that these men that mess with boys and girls underage, those kids don't know any better. There's men, those like, what's his name, Sandusky, messing with football players. Those boys, they too young. They don't know what they're doing, and it's a man changing the way they think, and it fucked them up from that point on. All of them said they were fucked up. Okay, there was nobody who had a case against him that came out and said it was okay. I was all right with it. Nobody said that. But when it was a woman, because of the toxic world in which I was raised, where masculinity is first, I told y'all before, we talk about racism, but sexism is bigger than racism. The reason that people didn't vote for Hillary is because she's a woman, not because she was white. They didn't want to vote for a woman. The white men said, we'll vote for any white man before we vote for a white woman. They didn't want to elect her. That's what it was. Well, that same thing with sexuality. Men always made the rules, so they got away with breaking the rules. Now women have more of an active. They're more active in the in law making and enforcement. And now women are saying, hell no, this is wrong. Playboy bunnies, that shit wrong. Strippers, everybody being a stripper, they cracking down on that. Now I hate that everybody won't be a stripper. No offense to strippers. I love some strippers. I got a lot of strippers I got love for, seriously. But I didn't think it was fair that a girl be stripping when she's 15, 16 years old. That's wrong. That girl wasn't ready to be stripping. Now she a career stripper because she started stripping at 15. What's she gonna do? She done messed up a whole year of school. She gonna strip. Again, no offense to you strippers out there, y'all. I'm not turning to you. Underage only. Underage strippers, I'm no.
All right.
Oh.
So listen, we go. Go ahead, O.
Oh, come on, O. He looked like he got something to say. How did you feel?
I don't know. I mean, I think about a situation, I was talking to somebody, I was messing around with somebody older, and she didn't know. She didn't know that I was younger than her. She like kind of assumed that we were the same age. So I was nervous. I was nervous about telling her, and she eventually found out. She was kind of mad at me at the same time because she was like, "Damn," And I kind of felt bad because I didn't really think about that. She could have got in trouble if somebody found out how old I was. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was one of them. It was one of those situations, where it was like we had then already been messing around. So when she did find out, we was just a little more discreet about it.
Oh, she didn't stop.
No,
they
she
never
didn't
stop.
stop. Apparently,
They
he
never
put
stop.
it down.
And he can
'cause-
still
Okay,
get it.
what was the
And he can
age
still
gap?
get it right now.
What was the age gap?
8 years. I was 17. She was like 25.
Okay.
You ain't
I mean, but
supposed to tell.
17, you done went through puberty. Your hormones is raging, so I get that.
And you
What
just
about you,
entered
Ty? How
into
did you
this
feel?
relationship.
Yeah, no, it's not like you was 13.
Right.
She still could have
But I
got in
just
trouble.
right.
So, Ty,
She could have still got in trouble, and I did lie about my age. So she thought I was in my
and that's
20s
happened to a
already.
lot
I
of
wasn't.
men too. That's happened to a lot of men where they get caught up with these girls. They lying about their age. I'm telling y'all, since
Well,
some in the
girls lie
school
about their
milk.
age too.
But
Yeah,
understand
but
what
we
I'm
get in a
saying.
lot of what she's saying, but we get
They get in a whole
lot
lot
of
more
fucking
trouble than we do.
It can fuck our whole lives up.
Yeah, you ought to register for life.
Just for being accused,
Ty.
not being.
Even without the guilt admission, just the fact that your name come up scared the shit out you.
Yeah, Ty, how did you feel? Is he on there?
Yeah, he unmuted. Ty Bear?
Ty?
He
Where
done
the
fell
fuck in my ass? I'm totally lost right now.
Y'all leave Ty alone slow.
Why are you driving and trying to be okay? Never. Yeah, he's lost. The reason why I asked is because everybody has different feelings. Because whenever you have to understand, I've been violated from age 4 all the way up until 19. I was violated in some manner. So consent for me did not register. It wasn't able to register because it was taken away from me. My mom, when I told her everything, she asked me why I didn't tell her, and I was like, "Mom, be honest with yourself. Would you have believed me?" So think about going through all these traumatic events as you're going into teenagehood and going through high school. You're going through traumatic stuff, and you're dealing with your extra hormones, and then you're still trying to have a separate life away from the trauma. It was fucked up. So I didn't really, consent didn't register with me. I didn't know I had a right to say no or a right to say yes, because these were people to me of authority. My brother was older than me. So my mom said obey adults. So that's what I had to do. I felt like I was doing what I was supposed to do because I didn't know that it was wrong.
Right.
I agree.
So we're gonna move.
Wrong.
We got 10
And
more
it was
minutes.
wrong.
It was
We got
wrong.
10 more minutes. We're gonna move
We do.
from teenagers to adulthood and what consent looks like. I'm gonna ask everybody. In your adult life, do you feel that you are giving 100% consent to everything that happens to you?
Yeah.
I do.
I wear that
I
jacket.
own it.
I believe I've
I'm
given
ready,
consent, but I don't necessarily like it.
But if I don't, I
You
don't.
don't like it?
Hold on. What about you, O?
Oh no, ain't shit going on without my consent right now.
Thank you. This nigga
That
didn't even drink it.
So
You heard it.
wait, I'm gonna play devil's
I
advocate.
said what I said. It ain't not happening.
We
Period.
all know that
My
most
boundaries
people
will not be
learn about.
overstepped.
Look, we all know that most people learn about sex through porn. Now, or soft porn, movies, things of that sort. We got time back. All right. So in those movies, I remember a specific scene in Sex and the City where Mr. Big accosted, I can't remember what her name was, on the elevator.
Carrie.
Carrie.
Yes.
Who said
Accosted her on the elevator and kissed her passionately. And then she just gave in like, oh, Was that consent?
No, that was TV.
But that action.
That was what?
Because most people learn from TV is what I'm trying to understand.
I agree.
Was it consent?
No, it was TV. That they teach us bad habits.
Right.
But at my age, you said as an adult, that shit ain't gonna. That's wrong if somebody does it and they don't give consent.
Mhm.
But if they don't never say nothing, you'll never know that you did it without their consent.
Right, because
It's
most
true.
people don't
They in a
understand
whole
the concept
relationship
of
now.
consent. Most people
That's
don't even
true.
understand the concept of consent. I'll put it this way: when the whole COVID thing started, people were still getting into your space. Were you giving them consent to get into your space?
Hell no. I almost hit a lady.
There you go. But this is what I'm saying. So we think we have control and can provide consent, but we don't even understand the concept of the consent that needs to be given in everything, not just in a sexual act, but within everything. Have you ever had a coworker come up and get too close?
I tell them step back.
But it's about a boundary.
Yeah, I got a
But
boundary.
That's what I was saying. It's about a boundary.
Oh,
It's
don't
about
even shake
creating a
hands.
boundary, and it's about enforcing those boundaries.
I
Right.
said it. I don't even shake hands.
I'm with
I
you.
won't shake your hand. I won't
So
even
you
shake
got-
your hand. It won't
But
be
you
no
had
kind of way
women come
about
up and hug you and say, "Oh, I love you."
But he could stop him.
No.
If he don't
No,
want to
you
hug,
know-
you know how.
Okay, and I'm gonna say this.
I've seen it happen.
like-
That's why I'm just saying. I've seen it happen. I seen it happen to him that night at his show. I seen it happen. Woman just walked into him, just grabbed him. I was like, "Oh shoot, that must be somebody."
Did you mind?
I did, and sometimes I'll make it known that, hey, like, whoa, like, wait a minute, hold on, like, you're in my personal space, man.
So
I
you
don't have no
allowed it,
problem
but you want him went through it for what reason?
because I don't want to be rude. You know what I'm saying?
That's what
You
you're
know,
trying to get at. So
I
she's
didn't wanna
saying
be
that we still
rude.
do it.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
We still
you
go
know.
along.
And how
with-
many times do you think we don't enforce boundaries because we don't want to be rude?
Thank you. I've
Ooh,
done it
very
too. I've done
often.
it a few times.
Except for doing
I've done it a
COVID,
few
I was
times.
rude. I was rude
You
to the
know?
motherfucker. Once COVID started, I became rude. I was like, hey, hell no. Boom, I can do this. Y'all know you hit him right. You do this, the step on. I do that step on. Fuck
Step
off.
off.
Ty, you still
Yeah.
lost?
Oh, I got a question. Do you think that when I was in high school, if a girl had a baby, we used to look at you like, and this is a Texas thing. Once that girl had a baby, even if she was underage, she became of age all of a sudden. Did y'all notice that? If a
Yeah.
girl if she was 15 and she had a baby, she'd be dating a grown nigga next time you see her. Because now that she a mama, she considered an adult.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, during that age, that me going from middle school to high school, I used to mess with girls who had babies for a little while because I knew she fucked with me. I knew it.
But
And I
guess
used to be
what?
like,
Those teenage fathers, they didn't get that same scrutiny.
they didn't.
They didn't.
But I knew them girls was fucking, so I'll come hard at a girl that had a baby. I'm like, come on now, we both know.
That's
We
a
both
fact.
know.
That's the truth, though. That's how it was.
It's
That's-
real. I ain't joking.
Nah, it's real, for real.
Like that is.
You grown. Yeah.
Hey, I can't stay
Oh.
in here for nothing.
And consent. And consent. One more thing about a consent. I got divorced after 50. I met a girl that was right at 20. And we were watching Netflix. There was no consent given. So I wouldn't go any further. And I told her, if you want to do it, you got to give me consent. I didn't know this. I'm new to dating, brand new. And she said, what do you mean? I said, text me and say, I can fuck. And she didn't do it, so I didn't fuck.
Don't you know? Netflix
So when she was
is
driving
so right
home,
to
she
fuck.
texted me and
Don't
said
you know
she was
that?
mad. Hold on. When she was driving home, when she stayed 2 hours away, she was driving home. She called me and said, she texted me and said, I'm mad at you. Then she got on the phone. I said, why? She said, I wanted to fuck. I said, you should have sent the text.
And she came over for Netflix and chill.
But she
That's
got to get
Netflix and
consent.
chill.
I'm new to this.
And all I
He
knew,
was new.
only
He
thing
was new to it.
I've been married since I was 20.
So you didn't know. So you didn't.
I said I don't know how other people do
I've
it, but
been
I said
married.
He
I know that
specifically asked for
You didn't know.
consent. She
I
should have
asked for
gave
consent.
it.
I said,
Oh, yes.
So she said, I assumed you were gone and that you would know. And I said, you assumed grown. Because she a police officer. Okay?
Oh, hell no.
Netflix.
I'm like,
Well, no.
I
Yeah.
don't give a damn. I could have been sitting in the courtroom and they would have asked me, did you get consent? And I would have had to say, well, I told her to text me. They gonna say, well, shit, nigga, she can't text you in jail.
Did
I ain't
you
going
ask
to
for
jail.
consent? Did you ask for consent?
Yes.
Besides sending a text message, did you kiss her and say, "Can I kiss
We
you?"
did. No, there's some
Can I
other
touch
stuff
you?
happened, but she did something else before that. But I asked her because the only thing left
If
next
you sit her and say she touched your penis, I'm finna end this call right now.
she did more than that.
I'm done. We done.
I
Thank
said
y'all.
I need
This has
consent
been
to go
our
on.
show on consent. We appreciate
That
you
ain't consent.
watching.
Oh, you
I
think that's
appreciate
consent?
you. We'll see y'all.
Well, that
That
was
is
court.
consent.
I'm done with you.